10 mistakes you make when taking creatine that throw the supplement's potential in the trash. Did you know that most people who use creatine are throwing money in the trash? That's right, and it's not because the supplement isn't worth it, quite the opposite. Creatine is truly one of the most studied and scientifically proven supplements when it comes to gaining strength, power, and muscle mass. The problem is that there are some very serious mistakes that the vast majority make when consuming it, and they don't even know they're making mistakes. Unfortunately, due to lack of adequate knowledge, these people waste all the potential of this incredible supplement and don't reap the real effects it can provide. That's why today you'll see the 10 most common mistakes when taking creatine, so you can finally start getting all the performance out of your investment. Stay tuned until the end, because mistake number 5 is the most common. Before we start, please tell us through the comments your name and the city where you're watching our content from. We'd love to know. Mistake number 1, not increasing water intake when starting to take creatine. Creatine works through a fascinating mechanism in your body. It pulls water into the muscle cells, increasing cell volume and creating a more favorable environment for protein synthesis. This process is known as intracellular hydration and is one of the reasons why you may notice a weight increase in the first few days of supplementation. The problem is that many people completely ignore the need to significantly increase water consumption when they start using creatine. Without enough water available in the body, creatine simply cannot exert its full effect. Even worse, you may experience unpleasant side effects like headaches, muscle cramps, and digestive problems. Dehydration also compromises workout performance, canceling out exactly the benefit you seek with supplementation. To avoid this mistake, increase your water intake by at least 17 ounces to 34 ounces per day when using creatine. A practical tip is to observe the color of your urine. It should always be clear, almost transparent. If it's dark yellow, it's a sign that you need to drink more water. Keep a water bottle always nearby and set reminders throughout the day to ensure you're hydrating adequately. Mistake number 2, taking creatine on an empty stomach. There's a persistent myth that supplements should be taken on an empty stomach for better absorption. With creatine, this strategy is completely counterproductive. Creatine needs insulin to be efficiently transported into the muscle cells. And you know what stimulates insulin release? Carbohydrates. When you consume creatine on an empty stomach, without any food in your stomach, you're wasting a precious opportunity to maximize its absorption. Insulin acts as a kind of carrier, taking creatine along with other nutrients directly to the muscles. Without this insulin spike, much of the creatine may simply pass through your digestive system without being properly absorbed. The ideal time to take creatine is with a meal that contains carbohydrates, or mixed in a natural juice or smoothie. You can consume it with fruits like banana, mango, or even with whole wheat bread. The amount of carbohydrates doesn't need to be excessive. About 20 to 30 grams are already enough to generate the necessary insulin stimulus. Some people prefer to take creatine post-workout along with their meal, taking advantage of the fact that the body is naturally more sensitive to insulin at that moment. Others prefer it in the morning, along with breakfast. The most important thing is to ensure you're not taking it on a completely empty stomach. This simple adjustment can make all the difference in the effectiveness of your supplementation. Mistake number 3. Ignoring creatine quality to try to save money. In times of economic uncertainty, it's natural to try to save money wherever possible. However, when it comes to creatine, seeking the cheapest option can become the famous cheap that turns out expensive. The supplement market, unfortunately, is full of adulterated products, with incorrect dosages or contaminated with substances harmful to health. Creatine of questionable quality may contain impurities like creatinine, dicyandamide, and other byproducts of inadequate manufacturing. These contaminants not only reduce the product's effectiveness, but can also cause severe gastrointestinal problems, stomach pains, and even compromise kidney function in the long term. Additionally, low-quality products frequently have poor solubility, meaning they don't dissolve well in water, forming that sand at the bottom of the glass that you end up not consuming. You think you're saving money, but you're actually throwing money away and putting your health at risk. Always look for reliable brands that have been approved in quality and purity tests. Creatine monohydrate from respectable companies goes through rigorous quality controls and has certifications that guarantee product purity. Check if the label clearly states the form of creatine used and if there are quality seals from regulatory bodies. Read reviews from other consumers, and if possible, consult your nutritionist about reliable brands. Investing a few dollars more in a quality product will ensure you're actually consuming pure creatine and will get the expected results. Mistake number 4, not taking it on days when you don't train. Many people believe that creatine only needs to be consumed on training days, as if it were a pre-workout. This is one of the biggest misconceptions about creatine supplementation. Creatine works through muscle saturation, meaning it needs to accumulate in your muscles over time to exert its maximum effect. When you take creatine regularly, you're gradually filling the phosphocreatine stores in the muscles, which is how creatine is stored and used during high-intensity exercises. If you stop taking it on rest days, you're allowing those stores to start depleting again. It's like filling a leaky bucket. You need to maintain a constant supply to ensure levels remain saturated. Studies clearly show that creatine should be consumed every day, regardless of whether you're going to train or not. On training days, it directly helps performance, providing quick energy for explosive muscle contractions. On rest days, it continues working on muscle recovery, helping in ATP resynthesis and contributing to the repair of muscle fibers damaged by training. Maintaining consistency is fundamental. Establish a fixed time to take your creatine daily, transforming this into an automatic habit. Many people prefer to always take it at breakfast so they don't forget, but you can choose the time that works best in your routine. What's important is consistency, not the specific timing. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Having constant access to science-based information is what will make you progress with health in the long term in the bodybuilding world. Mistake number 5, taking it mixed in vitamin shakes or protein. This mistake is extremely common and may be completely sabotaging your results. When you mix creatine in thick protein shakes, smoothies with fruits or creamy drinks, a significant part of the powder simply doesn't dissolve adequately. The creatine ends up depositing at the bottom of the glass, stuck to the walls, or mixed with pieces of fruit that you can't consume completely. You think you took the whole dose, but you actually left a good amount behind. Additionally, in very acidic environments or with very low pH, creatine can start to degrade into creatinine, which is a breakdown product useless for performance gain. Although orange juice is acceptable for raising insulin, very dense shakes create an environment where creatine doesn't remain stable. The best way to take creatine is to dissolve it first in a little warm water, stirring well until it's completely dissolved. Warm water helps with solubility, ensuring you don't leave any residue in the glass. After that, if you want to add this mixture to your protein shake, there's no problem, because the creatine is already in solution. Another excellent option is to mix creatine in a glass of grape juice or natural red fruit juice, which besides providing the necessary carbohydrates for the insulin spike, has a flavor that masks any residual taste of creatine. Always check the bottom of the glass after drinking to ensure no residue remained. This simple care ensures you're actually consuming the complete dose you measured. Mistake number 6, choosing the wrong type of creatine. The market offers various types of creatine: monohydrate, micronized, alkaline, ethyl ester, chelated with magnesium, among others. Each manufacturer claims their version is superior, absorbs better, or causes fewer side effects. The truth is that decades of scientific research consistently point to a single type as the gold standard: creatine monohydrate. It's the most studied form, with literally hundreds of studies proving its safety and efficacy. All other versions were created trying to improve some aspect of monohydrate, but none has managed to demonstrate real superiority in well-conducted studies. Some versions are significantly more expensive, promising better absorption or less water retention, but in the end, you'll be paying more for equal or even inferior results. Creatine monohydrate has excellent absorption rate, is the cheapest per dose, and has an impeccable safety record. If you have problems with solubility, opt for the micronized version of monohydrate, which dissolves more easily in water but maintains all the properties of the standard form. Don't fall for aggressive marketing, promising miraculous results with exotic forms of creatine. Save your money and go straight to what works provenly. The only exception would be if you had some specific adverse reaction to monohydrate, which is extremely rare, and in that case, your doctor or nutritionist could suggest an alternative. Mistake number 7, using the wrong dose. Inadequate dosage is a problem that affects both those who take too little and those who take too much. The standard recommendation you see everywhere is 3 to 5 grams daily. This is a good starting point for most people, but it's not a universal rule that applies to all bodies. People with more muscle mass need larger doses to achieve adequate muscle saturation, while smaller individuals can have great results with smaller doses. An athlete who weighs over 198 pounds with good amount of muscle mass may need 5 to 7 grams daily to completely saturate their muscle creatine stores. On the other hand, smaller people, especially women with body weight between 110 and 132 pounds, can have excellent results with just 3 grams. Taking more creatine than your body can store doesn't bring additional benefits. The excess will simply be excreted by the kidneys, representing waste of money and unnecessarily overloading the renal system. Taking less than necessary means you'll never reach complete saturation, limiting the benefits. One way to adjust your dose is to start with the standard recommendation of 5 grams and observe the results over 4 to 6 weeks. If you don't notice significant difference in strength and muscle volume, you can gradually increase to 6 or 7 grams. For lighter people, starting with 3 grams is usually sufficient. Also, consider your physical activity level and training volume. Those who train with very high intensity 6 times a week can benefit from doses at the upper limit of the recommendation. Mistake number 8, not monitoring side effects. Although creatine is one of the safest supplements that exist, this doesn't mean you should take it carelessly without paying attention to your body's signals. Some people may experience side effects, especially when they start supplementation or when they use inadequate doses. The most common effects include gastrointestinal discomfort, nausea, diarrhea, muscle cramps, and excessive weight gain due to water retention. If you notice any of these symptoms, don't ignore them. Persistent digestive discomfort may indicate you're taking the entire dose all at once. In that case, divide the dose into 2 or 3 intakes throughout the day. Frequent cramps generally signal dehydration, reminding you to increase water intake. Very rapid weight gain in the first days, more than 4 to 7 pounds in a week, may be subcutaneous water retention instead of intracellular hydration, especially if you notice swelling in the extremities. This may indicate you need to adjust the dose or improve the quality of the creatine you're using. Also, monitor important health markers. Although rare, cases of people with predisposition to kidney problems should have special attention. If you have family history of kidney disease or diabetes, do kidney function tests periodically while using creatine. Check your serum creatinine and urea levels. It's important to differentiate between real side effects and normal expected changes. A slight increase in body weight is expected and desired. Feeling fuller or swollen in the muscles is the effect of cellular hydration working. But persistent pains, chronic digestive problems, or worrying changes in laboratory tests deserve medical attention. Mistake number 9, thinking you'll have instant results. We live in the era of immediate gratification, where we expect quick results in everything we do. This mentality is particularly harmful when it comes to creatine supplementation. Many people start taking creatine and expect to feel a dramatic difference in the next day's workout, as if it were a pre-workout loaded with stimulants. When this doesn't happen, they get disappointed and abandon supplementation prematurely, losing all the real benefits that would come with continued use. Creatine doesn't work like a stimulant that you feel immediately. It works through gradual saturation of muscle phosphocreatine stores. This process takes time. When you start supplementation without doing a loading phase, it can take between 3 to 4 weeks for the muscles to reach complete saturation. Only after that will you begin to notice the real benefits. Increase in maximum strength, ability to do more repetitions, better recovery between sets, and eventually, muscle mass gain. The gains don't appear overnight, but when they appear, they're consistent and lasting. Studies show that creatine users manage to gain on average 2 to 4 pounds more of muscle mass in 8 to 12 weeks compared to those who don't use it, simply because they can train with more volume and intensity. Have patience and maintain consistency. Record your workouts noting loads and repetitions. After a month of correct use, compare the numbers. You'll probably discover you're lifting more weight or doing more repetitions than you did before. These are the real signs that creatine is working. Mistake number 10, not consulting a doctor before starting to use it. This is perhaps the most neglected and potentially most dangerous mistake on the list. Creatine is sold freely as a dietary supplement, which leads many people to think they can simply buy and start using it without any professional guidance. Although creatine is safe for the vast majority of healthy people, there are specific conditions and situations where its use may be contraindicated or require special monitoring. People with pre-existing kidney disease, even in early stages, should not use creatine without rigorous medical supervision. Creatine metabolism generates creatinine as a residual product, which is filtered by the kidneys. Compromised kidneys may have difficulty processing this additional load. Diabetics need special attention because creatine can affect blood glucose levels, although generally in a beneficial way. People who take medications that affect kidney function, like some non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs used chronically, should discuss with their doctor before adding creatine to their routine. Individuals with history of kidney stones also need evaluation, as changes in metabolism can influence the formation of new stones. Hypertensives in treatment should verify possible interactions. Even perfectly healthy people benefit from a medical consultation before starting, as they can perform baseline kidney function tests that will serve as future comparison. A simple blood test checking creatinine, urea, and glomerular filtration rate provides the peace of mind that you can supplement safely. Consulting a sports nutritionist is also highly recommended to adjust the ideal dose for your specific case, considering your weight, body composition, and goals. Now you know the 10 most common mistakes that prevent people from taking advantage of all of creatine's potential. Correcting them is simple and will make all the difference in your results. If you enjoyed this and also want to discover the true effects of creatine on your body after 50 years old, we left a video appearing right now on the screen showing each of them better. Don't miss it. Thank you for watching until here, and God bless you, my friend.